Hey guys, I'm Dave Klein, and I'm here with J Kartje, the community manager for Dark Souls 2, and we're here at the awesome event in San Francisco at the Box, playing some Dark Souls 2. I can't tell you how much fun I've been having with it. I'm so excited. Thank you so much again for having me.
Thanks for coming. We're excited to have you guys here.
So I've got a number of questions. First questions I gotta ask is for the PC crowd. You guys who are playing the PC. I'm more of an Xbox guy, but they were killing me the last time I did an interview that I didn't ask all these PC questions. So the first question is, PC release date. Is there anything you guys can reveal yet or nothing?
Sure, the answer is no. I can't say anything. But I can assure you I am just as excited as anybody is to have the game out on PC.
But it's going to be terrible on PC.
It's going to be fantastic on a PC. We understand the port was a little rough last time. We just are nailing down some things. We can't say anything yet. We will be very excited. The release date is soon after the console release. We know everybody's chomping at the bit. We'll tell you when we can. I just can't right now.
Okay, well, speaking on that PC release then, a lot of people were kind of disappointed with how easy it was to hack into the PC port. Are you guys working to correct that issue?
Yeah, I mean, everything is from the ground up. FromSoft's trying so much harder to make everything perfect for PC gamers. I mean, they know that's where an awesome community is, and that's what they're working on.
Well, is there anything you can talk on then? Because I know when you work on those things, it makes it harder to mod a game, and there's a modding community out there for Dark Souls. Will that still be sort of available for people, or is it going to be harder for people to do that?
I can't comment exactly on those details. All I can say is that we're aware. FromSoft, you know, I work for a publisher. We're Namco Bandai. We publish the game. We interact with the American community. I can't speak exactly for what FromSoft thinks of modders and what their plans are, but we're aware of what's going on. Basically.
Okay, well, as far as playing the game itself and the beta was awesome, tons of fun, but a lot of people thought it was too easy. So there was an Edge article that just came out with an interview with, I believe, Tanimura-san, where he was saying that they're going to be making it harder, and they were using the feedback from the beta. So do you have any idea what they're kind of drawing on to decide how hard it's going to be? Because it's hard to find that balance between, is it too easy for veterans, but is it too hard for new people? Do you have any idea what they're basing that on?
Sure. So the beta came out, and based on gameplay data, how far people were getting through it, but also just people talking on the forums. I mean, you leave a message on a forum and a huge thread gets started, you know, people are paying attention. People like me are paying attention. And we send that information off to From Software. And
so Jay's got your back. That's what we're saying.
And at the end of the beta, if you played the whole way through, at the very end, FromSoft, they cranked some things up on there, and they made it a lot more difficult just at the very end, just to test some things out. And they've been playing with those balance tweaks all the way up until launch. They're trying to find the right difficulty. I personally, as myself, it's really hard to objectify that. Personally, myself, I think Dark Souls 2 is a little harder than Dark Souls, but it's hard to objectify.
I mean, I feel like Demon Souls is a little harder than Dark Souls. And actually, on that topic, a lot of the elements are kind of reminding me back of Demon Souls. I mean, we've got the fact that you lose health after you die. We've got even the boss designs themselves, the fact that you have different elements remind me of Demon Souls. So that kind of brings me to a question with the boss design. Do you have any clue, and I'm not sure if you would know or could answer this, but do you know if they're kind of designing it to be more like, hey, there's certain bosses where a certain build will definitely benefit you on this boss, or is it going to be very much the Dark Souls design aesthetic where every sort of build has a different advantage for the boss?
The whole game feels a lot like Demon Souls. The more you play, the more you kind of get that feeling. It's hard to put a tangible to that, but it feels that way. As far as boss design go, there's lots of bosses, and there's lots of different things that will work on lots of different others. Maybe you can poison one, maybe you can backstab another, but as always, I would say in Dark Souls, even in Dark Souls, like some builds work better on other bosses. I think Dark Souls 2 is all about player choice. There are more options for you, more gear, more customization options, more stats to manipulate. So there will be so many different builds and ways to play the game.
I think after that accessibility comment, a lot of us are like, okay, good.
Well, on the accessibility, I mean, he's talking about the world. You know, there's branching paths in the game, and the game world is more accessible. Like, you can walk to a place that you couldn't, you know, there's not too many barriers.
And speaking on that, that's something I loved about this build we're playing here, is the fact that, and the beta build too, it feels like exploration is heavy in this game, and I love that. I like that there's kind of a Nexus-ish area, but it feels more like Dark Souls in the exploration aspect. So for me, thank you for that.
It definitely feels like there's branching paths, right?
Yeah.
So the whole point is that if you meet up with a boss, an Ornstein and Smough, and you hit a brick wall, you can't beat them. There's a different path for you to go, and you can explore. So there's branching paths, and those paths go for a long way.
Yeah.
There's always options in the game.
Right.
The exploration factor is there so much. You find keys, you don't know where they go to. You find items, you don't know what they do. There's so much to explore.
So speaking on that accessibility, now a new thing is bonfires. You can warp immediately, and this is something they revealed at E3 too. So this is something we've known for a little while, and I've been reading a lot about eras being pretty important in Dark Souls too. So some theory I've been tossing around is time travel being a possibility here. Maybe Dark Souls, Ulasil-ish. Any comments on that?
It's classic Dark Souls. I can't make any comments on lore, story. As everybody knows, the gameplay mechanics come first. The hardcore game is there. The core game you want, the customization RPG elements are there. And then the lore is the subtle, amazing bonus. That's, if you want to dig in, it's there, and the story's fantastic. But I can't say anything about that right now.
Totally understand. All right, so final question for you then is, we've been hearing that the Covenants, they're trying to make them more important this time around. Do you have are they going to be more important to the story itself, or how are they going to be more important to Dark Souls 2?
So I think the Covenants in Dark Souls 2 represent the way people play the game.
Yeah.
There's people who want the hardcore single player experience. There's people who want to PvP. There's people who want to invade. There's people who want to protect each other. There's people who want to co-op. There's Covenants to fit each play style, and it feels like you're role-playing within the game. You choose the Covenant that kind of fits your play style, and they're definitely a bigger part of the world. And it feels like there's a lot more to do with the Covenants. There's a lot more going on. There's a lot more fleshed out.
Great. All right, well, thank you so much for your time again, and thank you again for having me out. I had a blast, and when is March coming? Really, when? All right, thank you so much, Matt. Appreciate it.